Nick Cannon Mornings on Power 106. It's time for up close and personal conversations, close conversations with people that I admire, that are fixtures in the game, cats that are doing big things, and this young man is all of the above in the presence of a king, a superstar, the one and only Tory Lanez. What's good, my brother?
Thank you.
Man, you all right?
I'm chilling, man.
I see you dripped all the way up.
I'm trying to get like you, man.
Man, come on, man.
I already know how you get.
Yo, so, I mean, it's big, man. I don't know if I've told you this in the past, but I'm a huge fan, man, of your movement, of your talent. And then the whole, you're doing it big with the ChixTape. I'm a fan of that whole
Thank you
series.
so much. I appreciate it. Well, first and foremost, bro, I'm honored to talk to you.
No
just
doubt.
off of the things and the echelons that you've met, just as a black man, and just I don't think people always give you enough credit for the things that you've
I
you've
appreciate
done.
you,
know
brother.
What I'm saying?
Yeah,
But I'd encourage everybody to just do their background, just in case. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, I mean, I would say you kind of came into the game, got a lot of people's attention with doing similar records like the records we're gonna see on ChixTape, right?
Yeah.
And almost that is your lane. Like I feel like so many people once they saw you kind of just dig in the R&B crates and then kind of come out and make them your own, and then everybody started to follow suit.
Yeah.
Once you started to do it, and you back like this is the 5th time around.
Yeah.
And like what else? I mean, we heard the Jerry Sprunger joint, which is bananas.
Thank you so much.
And the joint is dropping. What else can we expect from it?
Well, basically, now that it's technically probably gonna be out by the time you see this. But,
Yeah. This out now. It's out.
Yeah,
This is now.
It's out now. Okay, bet. But basically, you got all of the top samples. I sampled everything from 2000 to 2006.
Yeah.
It's a predominantly R&B project, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
But this time I got the real people
On
the
it with
actual
you.
records.
Oh, that's
So
fire.
like, you know, every time I did a ChixTape in the past, I always wondered, like, damn, like, what if the real sample person would have heard this? And,
Yeah.
you know, what if they would have, like, you know, if we did a song together or something, and that was always like a pipe dream.
Yeah.
Up until the ChixTape 5.
Right.
And it started off with the Jerry Sprunger record with T-Pain.
Shouts out to Pain.
Yeah, with T-Pain doing his thing, and then Ashanti ended up doing Foolish with me.
Oh.
And then when Ashanti did that, I took those 2 records and I just brought them into every single room with all like the legendary people and was like, yo, look, this is what
how
I'm
we
working on.
moving. Yeah,
This
yeah.
is what it is.
And
The
that
top
man
people
for
are
you
doing
because
it,
you
know?
to be on top of the game like you are right now and to put that
Thank
stamp.
you.
Like they probably honored to jump on because you kind of breathing that fire back into them.
Thank you. Nah, honestly, I mean, I don't know exactly everybody's status, but most of the people it's still people on it that are still relevant to this day. They were just relevant also at that time as well.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Lil Wayne and Lloyd came back and did You.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Chris Brown did Take You Down. Like, there's still people that are
so
on
it's
it.
so it's
Yeah, you know.
See, and that's the thing too, where you know it's so much music out right now, and there's so much content that the stuff that you know to us a couple years ago, almost feels like, yo, that's our generation. That's what we grew up on.
Yeah.
But those cats, like you said, is still active. So
Yeah,
someone like
100%.
you to kind of bridge that gap is probably
that's what's-
super important.
Of course, especially somebody like me who came up off of 2 sample driven songs,
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
and Say It.
Yeah.
You know, this is rightfully like something that I always did.
Yeah.
And
Facts.
I think that, you know, there's always been this misconception of when, you know, a younger artist comes back and samples something that was classic, and people are always like, damn, they either feel like, older people feel like, damn, the kids is never gonna know the real version, number 1, and number 2, just like, damn, did this kid even do it right?
Right,
There's
right.
always that, you know, and I think putting the artist on the records and making the record a whole new record, but just sampled off of what was great, is the bridge of that gap. You know what I'm saying?
That's real, but that's even before our time. When you just look in the history of music, from everyone from Marvin Gaye to Gladys Knight, they would have a record like "Heard It Through the Grapevine." And they would drop the record at the same time.
Facts.
Donny Hathaway with "A Song for You," like you know Rick James with the Temptations, like they would do that. Like they would do the same record. Even Prince,
it was meant to be. Like,
Yeah,
that type
yeah.
of stuff is meant to be.
So
like,
it ain't really like an old school, new school thing. It's just like, you know, this is my take on this
what you're
record.
doing, yeah,
Nah, that's
100%.
dope, man. So, and I want to talk a little bit more and get more into your artistry, because I don't think you get a lot of or enough credit for your artistry in the sense of one being an ill MC.
Thank you.
I think on your previous project, especially the last one, you proven that over the time.
Thank you so much.
But then even just as someone who can take something from a melodic sense and singing and kind of create your own, what's your studio process, even with ChixTapes, or even like, yo, all right, I'm gonna use the deep voice on this. I'm gonna use my falsetto on this. I'm a rhyme only on this. Like, how do you bring it?
I don't even really be knowing. I think it's just like when I hear the beat, I don't really write anything down. That's number one.
Right.
I've realized that, writing things down is a waste of creativity in that moment. You waste a lot of your best ideas trying to even think of them all when like they're coming out so fluently because it's the first time you're hearing a beat.
Right.
And you're wasting your best ideas trying to take the time and jot them all down. And it's like, I just go directly to the mic and say whatever comes to mind, and that way it's recorded. So if I need to go back, I can hear what I did.
Right.
I'm a guy that just goes in off of the feeling. I actually recorded a lot of my live sessions, like I do them on IG, but like if you go on YouTube or anything like that, like you can see my live sessions. I do it really fast.
Oh, wow. That's
and it's
dope.
just like whatever the feeling of it is just
that's it.
It just gets done. Like, sometimes we do like 5 songs, like, and this is IG live, so you don't want to be on it too long.
Right.
So, we'll probably take like 30, 40 minutes and make like 3-4 songs just with the fans and shit.
Wow.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
And
I'm
then
quick like that.
hits come from that.
And hits come from it. It's still records that to this day they like, yo, will you please drop that one record that you made on live, bro? Please, like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it be things like that I think make it special.
That's a fire process right there. And then I feel like also, and it probably goes hand in hand with your artistry. You're a passionate artist. You know what I mean?
Very,
like, in a sense to where you speak your mind unapologetically. You back up whatever you say. It's you're not scared. And that's interesting in this day and age, because a lot of times people talk a lot, but they get real introverted.
Of course.
Like how do you manage that? I mean, because at times that could be taken. Like Tupac was probably one of the best when it comes to like how passionate he was, but it often got him in trouble,
of course,
because he was so passionate.
And it often gets me in trouble,
right,
because at the end of the day, like, I say the wrong thing just because I'm passionate about it and it makes a bunch of headlines.
Right.
Me, I don't give a fuck about what I'm supposed to say that's supposed to be right.
Right.
Nah, like, I want the world to know what my take on things was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's
what
real.
my slice of the pie was. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
right.
Like, so I just try to be as honest with myself, and hopefully there's people out there that feel my take on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you don't, you don't. But at least I kept the G from my perspective, because one thing I don't like to do is have to fake shit. And when I say something and then somebody goes deeper into the question and asks me, well, why do you feel that way? And then I got to fake this whole paragraph of why I feel this way that I don't. I don't like doing that shit. So I'd rather just be honest about it, and then I can give you my honest answer.
Right.
Is
there anything that you're like, damn, I probably shouldn't have said that up. Damn, if I could take that whole move back, I would replay that differently.
I definitely wouldn't have got into an altercation with Travis Scott.
Really?
I feel like that was stupid.
I feel like that was one of the first ones that I was aware. I was like, yo, that one was
a dumbass like thing we was even arguing about, and it just stopped so much great music that could have been made between us two.
Right.
I think.
What was it over initially? Like, I remember.
It's over some stupid shit about like some shit on Twitter that was actually a miscommunication, because a couple of days previous to that, I was already like championing him.
Yeah.
About the album he had dropped at the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't Astroworld. I think it was the one before that. Or
Right.
But whatever. Like, I just feel like, things like that, or like,
especially two great artists, rocking.
Yeah, or even like, like when I first came out and the whole time when I was just beefing with Drake.
Yeah.
Like just certain things I feel like also did play a part in the hindrance of certain things.
But do you think some of that stuff, because that
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
When I saw that, I was like, oh,
no,
Tory
don't get me
with
wrong.
The shits.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that like certain things didn't come out of it. Because at the end of the day, it was still entertaining. And at the end of the day, I still have a following of people that are just like, yo, you're the one guy that didn't come up with the Drake cosign or whatever the case is, and you're also the one person that was just like, fuck you, you know what I'm saying? Like, and nobody, that was unheard of, you know what I'm saying? But in that, it still was things that I wasn't able to do, you know what I'm saying? People that wouldn't feature on the songs with me back then at the times because they didn't want to ruin relationships. And certain things like that, they do hinder you, you know what I'm saying? When you have, what people don't realize is like when you beef with people in the industry, and when you get into these little beefs, you gotta think about it and realize okay, well, if I'm beefing with this person must have allies that champion them, and maybe me beefing with this person is gonna stop me from working with all these people who just love this one guy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like sometimes we're not really too aware of the friendships, you know, inside of the game too. You know,
and you got to know how to maneuver in this industry.
Exactly. You know, so
yeah. And that sounds like you as you're a little more seasoned, a little more wiser to the game. You got that bird's eye view now. It's like, all right, I'm
100%.
Like now, it's from a boss's perspective.
It's just like I hate to always use that like the B word and be like, yo, I'm a boss and that, because a lot of times niggas say that, but it's just really an experience perspective. Like, because some niggas is this experienced when they not bosses. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's real.
And you know what I mean? Like, but I think just from a standpoint, I look at things and just realize like, okay, look, it's a different way to go about things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I realize I don't like to squabble with niggas over the internet, because at the end of it all, you always come out on the bottom, even if your point is made.
Right.
You know, you still come out of the bottom for arguing with a nigga.
Yeah, look
you know what
petty.
I'm saying? You look petty, you look like you're bothered. You know what I'm saying? You always come out at the bottom. And so I've just found my own different ways to deal with shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm more for face value. I'm a guy that's more like, yo, if it's an issue, let's talk. If we can't talk, we can shoot hands.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? So,
and people got to respect you for that, because most people are hiding behind these screens. They're getting super emotional in one moment and then find themselves they got to apologize in a tweet and a post and all of that.
And it's a lot. You know, so it's just like, just don't even do it. Just let it, you know, I think us as artists forget that there's a 48 to 72 hour rule that, like, after these hours go by, people forget.
Facts.
You know,
they're going to be on to something else.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody's going to do some dumb shit within the next 48 hours, bro. It's okay.
Yeah, and
you know?
and in your journey, I mean, what's one thing that you want people to know and understand? Because I even take a look back and was like, I don't know if a lot of people know how hard you worked and how Tory Lanez actually got on. You know what I mean? Your actual grind, because they feel like, oh, it's the Canada wave.
Nah.
And he just was swept in there.
Nah, what people don't realize is, like, I think that, like, when you really go back, and even somebody from Toronto, if you're from Toronto, you're from the city, you'll understand this. It was Drake who got on.
Yeah.
Right? Who got on, like, in a massive way.
Yeah.
I got on second.
Right.
Then it was The Weeknd, and then it was Party Next Door.
Right.
And the rest.
And everybody else.
Who came.
Right.
But I was the second person to ever do something out of the city.
Put on for your
that
city.
Was like, you're in America, you're with American people, like, you're da-da-da-da-da. And I'm not talking, like, because I know they're going to go back and be like, yo, it was Cardinal official.
Bieber.
I'm talking about, you know.
For the way that, for this generation.
You know what I'm saying? So, for me, like, when I came out, I was known through the city just because I had this drive. I was at every mall. I was passing out CDs. I was selling CDs. I was everywhere.
CD
like,
times.
Yeah, like, you know, I was selling mixtapes, and I was also on YouTube going crazy.
Right.
And so, like, in the city, like, I was already a thing.
Right.
You know, and then when I got signed to Sean Kingston, because I got signed to Sean Kingston at 18.
Oh, okay.
That's what people don't realize. You know
wow.
I was signing him at 18.
What year was that?
2011.
Okay.
Yeah, I was signing him at 18, and when I was signed, like, that to people was, oh wow, a second person is signed. I was on World Star. I was da-da-da-da. That's when I started building my fan base. And from there, mad mixtapes. Just album after album. And I call them albums because they were never ever like other people's beats and stuff. These were real projects
records
that I put together like albums.
Right. Yeah.
And, you know, 10 mixtapes in, you know. That was like when the world kind of got introduced to me on the Say It Love Interscope. But I was already selling out shows. I was already
you was already moving when we heard Say It.
Yeah, when y'all heard Say It, I had already been, like, whole tour was sold out, like, before that, just off of other music that I had dropped, Diego and all this other stuff that I was already dropping. You feel me?
Right. Yeah, and that was that mainly in Canada, or was that everywhere? That was
everywhere. That was mainly in America. You know, my manager is really big on touring.
Yeah.
You know, he does all the touring for anybody that goes through Texas and any of those places like that in those southern areas.
Smart. Yeah.
He does all of that shit. He does all of, like, the top three or three of the biggest festivals.
Right.
You feel me? He throws them. And so I've always come up from that background, and so he always taught me early, like, this is how you build your fan and get more tickets to these shows. And all that matters is tickets.
Right.
People think that, oh, my Instagram is popping.
Yeah.
Oh, my show is doing well, or oh my not my show, my IG videos get a lot of likes and a lot of views and
cool
and
on
people,
YouTube.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And people buy my merch. If your career as a musician doesn't translate into ticket sales, you don't mean anything.
Yeah, because that's what the longevity is.
And that's what they base everything off of. Sometimes you be mad when your billing on a festival isn't high, or isn't like, you see some people and you're like, yo, why is this guy higher than me? He doesn't even have no hits.
Yeah.
And you're like, and they're like, because he sells 8,000 tickets in this place, or he sells 4,000 tickets, you're worth whatever. We don't even know, because you only
never done it before,
and you only do club shows. You don't even do hard ticket sales. Like, if your shit does not translate into hard tickets, meaning that like someone's going there to see you directly, not going to the club to take a shot, and then maybe you're gonna perform and they might see you in a section. No, to see
hard
you
tickets,
and to buy a ticket to just sit there and watch you and wait for 3 other acts as openers to go through to see you. If they're not doing that, and you're not selling that many hard tickets, you can't step in that category. So it's a lot of people that I think, they got the Instagram and the social life mixed up, and thinking that when it comes down to it, they're gonna sell the same amount of tickets as they get likes, and that doesn't translate.
Nah, that's what I found super fascinating. That's what I was saying, even on your journey. I was like, yo, dude was super popping before Say It. Like I
was doing things.
Yeah. And I would also I'd have to, elaborate on just, again, your process of you doing it on your own. You know what I mean? And not
y'all only knew.
And people not really like, yo, you your squad
to this day.
Really,
to this day.
And why you just feel it's intelligent to just keep your circle small? You learned
I've
a
always
lesson.
been around the same people. I've always been around the people who've always told me, yo, you doing wrong when you doing wrong. When I'm, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I've never tried to surround myself with a bunch of new people that are gonna agree with me because they don't know how I'm gonna react to something, or they don't know me enough to know, that telling me the right thing is the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, because of that, I've always been grounded with the same set of laws and the same, attitude towards things around me.
Right. Nah, that's wise, man. And going back to the process again for a second, ChixTape 5. Now, is this, because you came up in the mixtape world, is this considered a mixtape, or now that you major and you're doing your thing, is this an album that you just? This is
an album, because this is now the first time out of the whole series of 5 projects that you're getting one that's actually going on Apple, Spotify. That was the problem. Like, the ChixTape series had gotten
because
so
of the samples
big, and because of the samples and the clearances, it was like we were never able to really put it out on Apple or Spotify or any of those platforms. So for this one, we literally had to deal with, 66 clearances?
That's the process, like, so, because I deal with that all the time.
Like that.
Did it hinder when it was gonna come out, or like,
for sure.
What was probably the most difficult one to clear?
I can't remember what the most difficult one to clear is. I feel like it was either like,
was there anyone?
Take You Down? No, not Take You Down. It was Jagged Edge and Jermaine Dupri and the Trade It All sample, the intro of the album.
Yeah.
Because there was so many writers on the original joint.
See, that's the thing I had.
Beat makers, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my joint that I got with Ty Dolla and Jacquees has a sample, and everybody thought it was, I don't want to be a player no more, still not a player, big pun. But then you got to go to the original person where they sampled it from.
Yeah, and then where they
all of the right, and you find out
crazy.
you're looking for like 7, 8 different writers,
and it's like, yo, some of these people have died. Some of these people ain't even alive.
You got to talk to their family.
Exactly, like it gets tricky, but we as a unit we ended up doing it.
Yeah.
Just basically off of shared relationships and shared I'm going to call you guys directly.
Yeah.
Who is this guy? Who's this writer? I'll find his Instagram.
Yeah.
Who is these people? Like that's how we cleared the project. We didn't wait on the label.
People don't understand that process, man.
We went and said, yo, who needs to do this? How does it get cleared? What do we need to do? We're going to get this cleared.
All right, so is there a record that we not going to hear on the project that didn't get cleared?
There is an ending of I sampled My Body by Pretty Ricky on the project, and the ending of it won't be on the starting chicks. I had to release it later because basically when you're signed to the label, you know, they have these issues sometimes where they feel like, you know, and this was the dumbest shit that I've heard so far. Like, basically, I couldn't put it out because they said it was an interpolation, which is basically to those people who don't know.
You didn't actually sample it.
To those people who don't know what an interpolation is if I sing on my song, "You working with some ass, yeah," and then you say on your song, "You working with some ass, yeah." But it's like not necessarily. It's the way I say it. If I say
you said
"You
it
working
kind of
with
like
some
Jew.
ass, yeah,
Right.
and you go on some song and you say, "I got some cash, yeah,"
Right.
they'll say that that's an interpolation, right?
Right.
But basically, this was the one that I never understood. It was like they said it was an interpolation of the key of the song.
Wow. How is that even possible?
It's so impossible
How can you
that
interpolate
I'm not even gonna
entire
sit
key?
here and whatever. But you know that record, I hope to put it out after. But basically, the ending of the song on the project called "Yes Sir" is not there.
Oh, okay.
You know, it got chopped off.
But see, now that's what people gonna be waiting for. That's gonna be so.
Don't worry, it's all good. And there's a couple other little things that got chopped off too that I'm a hopefully just.
And is it one of those
out.
things where it's like, all right, I'm done? Because clearly, like you said, you can make 6 hits in 30 minutes. Is there something like how do you narrow it all down? Like, all right, these are the songs that are going on
It's
the
a
record.
feeling. It's a feeling of like, yo, this is big.
Right.
Or this is, or like, yo, you outdid yourself. Or yo, this is taking people on a on a journey.
Right.
You know, and if it doesn't feel like, yo, niggas is going on a journey,
right,
it's not right.
And that's the thing, cause like even I'm looking at my joint right now. I got the pre-order, and then they allow you to get the, you know, first I got the Sprunger joint, and then all of the others. I'm looking at some of the titles, and I'm trying to figure out like, all right, well, what did he sample?
But see, that was the thing.
Cause I don't see no features, none of that.
And we did it on purpose. Basically, like today the features actually,
Room 112 got to be a 112 record.
Yeah, you know, and if you really think about some of those records hard enough, you can find like where I was going with it. But we didn't put
Fool's Tale. Is that the Ashanti one?
That's a fool. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like,
I see it.
If you really like do the riddle on it, you'll know what it is. You know what I'm saying?
That's ill.
Like for instance, like the Chris Brown record, "The Take" is "Take You Down."
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? The Cry from Mario is "Crying Out for Me."
Got
the
you.
sample, you know. So it was but we didn't want to put the features out because so many people have just been anticipating this project off the sheer fact that it's Tory Lanez coming back to do R&B. I haven't did R&B music in 3 years.
Right.
Just because off the sheer fact that I felt like niggas was copying me. So,
Facts.
you know, I shared away from it and strayed away from it. And so people have just been anticipating me coming back to R&B doing exactly, you know, what I've always done. And I think that in itself, for people to be excited about it, was such a shock for me that I was like, you know what, let me hide these features. And when they get them the day of, today, like, you know, when they go like today, and then your you know, your album updates.
Yeah.
And then you see the features that you didn't even see when you was looking at the pre-order.
Nah, that's ill.
It's just so dope. And it's like, wow, like all the real people are on this project too.
That's fire.
You know? So, yeah.
Now, you talked about, just briefly, about people, you know, copying you, or even there's been so many, like, because I don't even, that's my question for you. Like, what do you determine is like, yo, I really got beef with this person. I really, as an artist, just feel like this person, you know, creatively we had some differences, and then like, oh no, that was just for entertainment. Like, because I feel like I see you in a lot of those. Sometimes cats are coming at you. Sometimes you are having different discrepancies. I'm like,
a lot of times
I'm sitting back like, is this real?
A lot of times these dudes is like, yo, I took something. I feel like a common thing is just like, yo, Tory Lanez, he bit this off of me, and he bit. But like, before like you as the consumer go and listen to that, like, I need people to really analyze what niggas is talking about.
Right.
Because like, if you ever look, I've never actually stole anything.
Right.
It's never ever been a verbatim for verbatim. I took this or whatever the case is.
Right.
Like, cats to the point now will get mad that I'm using a beat.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, that's what I do. I make remixes, nigga. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, a lot of people, and that's the thing. That's what's like, where's that line of like, yo, I fuck with your song. I'm paying homage. Like,
and that's the thing. Like,
that's hip hop. That's what we do. Like, that's what hip hop is built on.
And I feel like there's this like this soft, like, yo, we shouldn't be. Yo, you should ask me. Like,
it's a good look
about
for you.
Creativity, and if I go on your record,
but do you get upset when people do that on your records? Or?
To me personally, I don't like feeling like me as a person who really writes so many records and wrote so many of these niggas hits.
Yeah.
And like giving niggas so much advice and did so much for people.
Facts.
It's just it's sad to think that like a lot of y'all have the nerve to come around and turn around and be like, nah, Tory, you doing this and you biting this and you da-da-da-da. It's like, cuz I wrote your songs. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're talking to me crazy, but I'm not going to expose you because I'm not immature. So then it comes down to this.
Yeah.
Cool. If this is what's gonna be the thing here, I'm no longer talking to you niggas on the internet. When we see each other, you're either going to talk to me and we're going to talk it out because it wasn't that serious.
Right.
Or however you want to handle it at that
we can get to it.
Point, we're going to have to handle it because clearly you don't want to have a conversation.
Right.
And that's what keeps me back from doing that now. It's just like I'll see this person when I see this person.
Yeah. And I feel like you've held yourself like that so people know now. Like it's like, oh.
I'm not even like that.
Because even I felt like when you
know,
like when you was rapping and y'all was going back and forth, I felt like with the joint that kind of got like it was a respectful y'all. It was entertaining.
It was respectful to the fact that we knew he was just going for hip hop right now. It was for rap. And at the end of the day, if it's for rap, I'm gonna bite your head off.
Right.
Like in all ways that I can. Like I'm gonna say the most nastiest, wildest shit.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, this is a battle and we're doing it specifically for the sport. That's why me and Joyner was able to just go on tour together.
Yeah, I was about to say I saw y'all on the Chris joint.
And it was blessed. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't an issue. It wasn't. We played basketball every day. Like, it's not an issue like that. Even the thing with Don Q, as much as it seemed like it was a whatever, that was still my nigga. It wasn't really, it was the sport. And like, when it comes down to things like that and competitive sport like that, I love that.
Yeah.
You know, I have no issue with that. Like,
Facts.
you know, I love to put my talent up against yours. That's cool. I have no issue with that. We could do it together on the same track or away from each other, dissing each other, or in unity. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
it ain't gotta, it is what it is.
That's how it should
be. That's all it is. I'm competitive, but at the same time, I'm also a team player. And so, you know, I just like to be known as a person who
it's solid and with it, however you want to do it. I'm matching that energy.
I mean, not saying I want to be known for that, but I just, you know, I just want people to understand that, like, I appreciate respect just as much as you do.
Right.
And like sometimes what people don't understand is like, I write so many records that for you to say I even took the time to even listen to something and bid it from you, it's so disrespectful to me, bro. And it's like, damn, cuz like, haven't y'all seen how many niggas have been hot and left? And it's like, I'm still holding y'all down with records to this day. And it's like, at this point, just pay me my dues, bro.
They insulting your artistry.
Leave me the fuck alone, cuz.
Like, leave me alone. Let me be Tory over here.
That's it, bro. Like, you know.
Yeah, now, cause I ain't gonna front. Like, even when I was going through the track list, I was like, I need to see what he doing. I need to see what he sampled. Even for my own projects, I'm like, I know he gonna be on the late '90s, early 2000s wave. Let me see what pocket he in, because you set the tone a lot of times just based off of, especially in that R&B hip hop lane where I feel like so many people are on your wave and follow suit.
Bro, it was getting to a point literally where I felt like I can't make, like, this is when 2015 everybody was a singer.
Yeah.
You know, the Party Next Doors was out, the Bryson Tillers was out, and I was feeling like I can't do something without somebody taking it. Like,
right.
You know, there was no, I don't feel like, with all due respect, without it being like a Tim Vocals.
Right.
Shout out to Tim Vocals. The real New York niggas know what I'm talking about.
Right.
If it wasn't a Tim Vocals, there was no nigga coming on his songs talking about, you know, pulling up to your crib, shorty, but at the same time I got my thing on me.
Right.
There was no niggas that was talking the degrees that I was talking. All of a sudden, it became to be this like, I'm in R&B and it's all edgy now, and now I have my burner and that. And I'm seeing these niggas in real life like, you're not even like that. You know what I'm saying?
High school
like,
students.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, for me, it was just like, it's so many people started copying, and it felt fake. With me, it was therapeutic because I was actually being able to say what was going on. Like, when I was with my baby mother, and I was driving a Honda Civic with the crash door, and I was still somewhat Tory Lanez, like recording ChixTape 2.
Right.
These were different times when I was allowed to move a little bit more loosely than I move. You get what I'm saying? And so it's like, all that stuff came from the inspiration of how I was actually out there giving it up.
Facts.
So when I felt like it was being fabricated and it was being reciprocated in this fake way,
Right.
it was like, I gotta stop doing this, and I cut myself off from R&B music
Right.
for the last 3 years.
Right.
You know.
Now you back at it.
Now I'm here back again. You know, the rap ain't never gonna change. You know, I'm always gonna have singles with the rap and stuff too. But
So do you consider yourself
I
more of
consider
an
myself
MC,
an
a
artist.
rapper, or just
an artist.
Just an artist.
I paint pictures.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying? I'm an artist and I paint pictures. I don't make songs. I paint pictures.
There it
You know what I'm
is.
saying? And it's as vivid and visual as you will accept it to be.
And you talk about elevation and times being different. Obviously, we see the journey through the ChixTapes. Now, clearly, it's super different.
I'm here.
Like, what is that life, man? Like, going from, obviously, like you talk about the broke down Honda Civic to, like, now I'm seeing at least $1 million in jewelry on right now. Like, is that a cognizant effort of, like, all right, I've elevated. I'm living the fruits of my labor.
Bro, I came from nothing. Nick.
Right.
Nick, I came from nothing.
Nothing, like real, the mud.
Like broke, like homeless, like sleeping in the park, sleeping in the cars, like begging for change. Like I came from nothing.
Right.
Like, I came from nothing, literally. Like you see when you drive and you stop at a stoplight and there's that guy who's at your door and everyone looks past and they keep driving. I was that guy.
Right.
You feel me? So what I came from, and what I've always told myself, I've always said things before they happened, and I've learned something about speaking things into
existence,
into existence, to full fruition. And I like to always look at things, and even my whole career has always been a I told you. My first album was called I Told You.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the reason why I say that is because I know the power of speaking things and speaking energy around me, and you know the dominance that I have with my tongue. Pause.
Yeah.
You know that God gave me though. You feel me? And like
Right.
because of all the things that I've gone through, I try to live like a living testimony to people to show them, yo, there's nothing. If I came from the bottom,
Right.
like you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like if I came from the bottom like this, you can
You
do it too. There's nothing that can stop you from doing it. And like,
Yeah.
I
You're
think,
an example.
I think a lot of times, like, you know, right when you're at that point, when you feel like, yo, I'm doing so much and it's just not working, that's usually the point when the breakthrough is about to happen, and you can't stop
Right.
at that moment. Because everything, it's like when everything's telling you, yo, just give up. And it's that last moment you didn't give it your last breath. You're so close that it's almost like this thing where it's like life can't let you just grab it that quickly. It has to know that you're willing to do that last extra breath
Right.
to get it.
Yeah.
And when you do that, that's when you receive that goal. When you don't follow what your mind and your body and your spirit is telling you at that point, like, damn, I can't do it no more. When you just do it,
Right.
it happens.
Right.
And that is the testimony I've learned. Like, so every time I get to the bottom or I get off season and niggas is like, yo, Tory Lanez, you're done. No, I'm not done. I'm not done, because I'm going to come with another one, and it's going to do better than my last joint.
Right.
And it's going to do better and better and better. And you know what? I'm going to gain, and I'm going to keep gaining, and I'm going to keep gaining. And every time I feel like, yo, this is going left, I'm going to bring it back right. No matter what. And it's going to work, and I'm going to speak it into existence, and it's going to happen.
That's fire.
And that's how I continue to still be here.
Manifestation.
Exactly.
There it is.
You know?
This has been an up close and personal conversation with my guy Tory Lanez. ChixTape 5 is out now, but you know I can't let you go. I got the vest on. I got to shoot from the hip. We got the firing squad questions.
Okay, what's up?
Off top, always first question. It's a psychological question. They say in psychology there's only really two emotions.
Okay.
It's either love or fear, and every other emotion comes from one of those. Mm-hmm. Which one would you rather be, Tory Lanez, loved or feared?
Loved, definitely. I'd rather people not fear me. I feel like fear is I'm forced to do something for you out of fear.
Right.
Love is I love to do this for you.
Because that's that boss mentality. You Bosses are feared.
But see, a lot of
leaders are loved.
The thing about it is too is like you can be loved and feared at the same time. You know, it's just all about how you treat people.
Right.
And everybody needs to be treated equally. And if you do what you do when it's time for people to fear you, they gonna understand that sentiment, that mandate right there.
Right.
You know, so I feel like, you know,
yeah,
if you just installing fear into people, then they're just scared of you. And it's like one day somebody's gonna build up the courage to not be scared of you, and
yeah,
it's over.
Then it's over.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's real talk. And speaking of scared and fear, what's Tory Lanez's greatest fear?
I fear not being alive to provide for my son the way that, not even just provide, because he's straight if I were to die today, but
just to lead him, to guide
him and to guide him and to give him everything that I learned out of being on my own.
Right.
You know, I would love to make sure that I'm around to teach him those things and those values. You know, I never want to be treated or want him to be treated or feel like I was a father who wasn't in his life, despite how many times I got to be on the road. No matter what, I'm coming home to my son.
Yeah.
You feel me? So that's
real.
Say, you know?
We're going to lighten it up. Favorite movie?
Damn. Don't Be a Menace.
Oh, word?
Don't
the
Be a Menace
joint.
is just too funny.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? It's just too funny. It's too classic of a movie.
Yeah.
Too
Nah,
funny.
that was super solid. Best piece of advice you've ever received?
It doesn't matter who's talking to you. Just listen. If it's a bum on the street, it doesn't matter. They could be telling you up the road there's a ditch, there's something that car's gonna run. You never know. Just listen.
Yeah.
It's either that or judge people off of how they treat somebody who can't do nothing for them. Don't judge people by how they treat you. Judge people by how they treat people who can't do nothing for them.
Yeah. And especially as someone in your position, it's almost like they talk about, you got to treat the janitor and the CEO.
Because they're going to smile in my face, but they're not going to smile
you.
for the kid that's the
They're going to walk past them.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that shows you somebody's real character, if they're a nice person, if they're really genuine or not.
Yeah.
You know?
Nah, that's real word. What's the worst piece of advice you've ever received?
When you see these niggas just start slapping faces off. Like, you know what I'm saying?
that could get you into some trouble.
You know what I'm saying?
I could definitely understand that. Favorite cuss word?
Fuck. So you got to go all the way with that, like, you know?
Yeah, that's just straight to their face. You're on an island. You only can take 3 things. What are the 3 things you taking?
Studio.
Okay, smart.
Some drawers.
Need those.
And the toiletries.
There it is. There it is. Tory Lanez's wildest night. You remember? Has
literally the wildest nights I don't remember. Like, that's literally
those are the best ones.
When they're that wild, I don't remember. Like,
right.
You know?
Wake up like, what the fuck happened?
Wake up in a place that you didn't go to sleep. Somehow you got there.
Yeah.
Those nights.
Yeah. Childhood celebrity crush.
Ashanti.
Oh, and you got to work with her. That's dope.
And I put her on the cover.
So
it was a double whammy, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's fire right there. You tatted all the way up. Most important piece of ink you got?
This one. Forever Umbrella is on my hand.
Yeah.
And it's a representation of one umbrella, which is the label and which is everything that we are. You know? The umbrella damn near right now, we have 4 other artists. I just want to touch on them real quick.
Yeah.
I got Davo, Mariah, the scientist.
Yeah.
Melly, she's out of Interscope as well.
Yeah.
And Mansa and this kid named Papier. Papier made the beat for the Jerry Sprunger record.
Oh, dope, dope.
All of them incredible artists, and I believe so much in what this is.
Yeah.
That this is my most important. The seal Forever Umbrella will be forever.
So
now
you expanding.
100%.
Nah, that's
I'm in management, all kind of shit.
Nah, that's smart, man. It's good to see. Now, one album for the rest of your life. You only can listen to this one album. What's that album?
ChixTape 5. I'm not even trying to be funny. It's just it's that good. And
right.
It's that much of a journey. Like, it takes you on a ride. You're like, okay, I can sit with this.
Nah, it gotta be, man. I can't wait for it. Like I said, I've always been a fan. I'll say your top 5 artists that you are inspired by.
Right now, or dead or alive, or
whatever, however you see it. This is any genre of music. This is what inspires Tory Lanez. These 5 artists, dead or alive.
Mariah the Scientist, Melly, Davo, Papier, and Mansa.
And that's your squad right there.
5 right there. And I'm really inspired by those artists every day. Like, they inspire me to have
How did
to
you
go
put them
hard.
on your team? Like, why those 5? Like, you
I
can
found
sign
them all
anybody in the world.
I found them all at different times.
Right.
And I've never been in a situation where I've ever felt like this person did it doper than me.
Right.
And these 5 people were the only people that I've ever met that time after time, and the more that they've sent me, the music has just gotten more undeniable, and I felt like, damn, you did this better than me.
Right.
Or better, or you did this in a way I would never even think. And
right.
that constant spark of creativity is what keeps us all in a place. And like, thing about it is right now it's gonna be funny when we go back to this interview years later, and it's like, oh, he was just introducing those niggas at this time. But it's one of those things, you know what I'm saying?
Nah,
and
that's dope.
I can guarantee you 2020, the whole squad is going to reign.
Nah, that's
you know
what's
what
up.
I'm saying? So
to have that level of confidence to know what hand you holding is dope.
The same way I told y'all, yo, I'm going to be here. I'm going to have this single. I'm going to 2 years later, 4 years later, I'm telling you, that's who it's about to be.
And that's what we talking about, legacy, man. One word, when it's all said and done, that describes Tory Lanez. What's that one word that you want to be remembered by or defined as?
Untouchable.
Untouchable. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This has been
an
up close and personal conversation
yes, sir,
with the untouchable Tory Lanez.
You already know, my man.
It's love. ChixTape 5 is out now. Make sure y'all get that joint.